Hello there, and a very, very, very warm welcome to my YouTube today. My name's Chris, and today we're on a special journey. It really is a special journey. My dear friend Reg McComish, former naval officer, he's been a lifelong flyer, and quite honestly, he's an inspirational character. Here he is at 87 years old, still flying his beloved Aeronca L3 Grasshopper, and he's embarking on a journey today from the former RAF Bolt Head down here in Devon, and his intention is to fly a memorial trip from Bolt Head all the way up the south coast in memory and passing by all the D.DAY embarkation points all the way up along the south coast. Reg is a staunch supporter of the D.DAY celebrations and has been in northern France on many occasions. But on this particular special occasion, he's flying his Aeronca L3 Grasshopper from RAF Bolt Head all the way up along the south coast, and then he plans to cross over to France and fly down to just south of Normandy. It's not possible to land that close to Normandy because it was a heavily restricted area with all the D-Day celebrations going on. But this all took part back in June last year, and it was a very, very early morning that Reg set off. We all arrived up there around about 7:30. Reg got his aircraft ready and was aiming to depart at 8 a.m. And Reg is here he is, trundling off to get ready to taxi up, do all his engine checks. Now, this is an Aeronca L3. It's got a very, as aircraft go, quite a small 65 horsepower Continental engine, giving him about an 80 mile per hour cruise. A range of about 190 miles. So Reg will have to stop several times on the way, and it's an aircraft that he fully restored. He's got a great love for this aircraft, and back in 1944 many aircraft departed from RAF Bolt Head, as it was an advanced landing ground. Now, Reg's aim was to get to Normandy. Sadly, as it turned out, the weather brought him down further up the south coast, and he had to land, for safety reasons, he had to land at a local airstrip there. And Reg sat it out, but the weather was never going to clear, and he was running out of time to make it to Normandy. So he decided to return, and then, believe it or not, he made the journey again. And this time his plan was to fly the south coast in memorial to all the D-Day veterans and all the D-Day departure points. And this he successfully did. So with a time constraint, he flew all the way up the south coast and passed all the embarkation points from D-Day, and then Reg returned back to his base, which was at an airfield in North Devon called Exeter. Remarkable journey considering Reg's age. He's just so full of enthusiasm, and he's always been a leading light in our small aircraft world. He really is. His enthusiasm is boundless, and I always marvel at his energy. He's far more energetic than I am, and he's almost 20 years older than me. Well, Reg, I wish you all the very best, because now Reg is retiring from flying, and he will be selling his beloved Aeronca L3. It'll be a sad day. But Reg he's been flying for 60 plus years, quite a considerable and amazing achievement. Thank you, Reg, for all you've done.
I have nothing to offer but blood, toil, tears, and sweat. We have before us an ordeal of the most grievous kind. We have before us many long months of struggle and of suffering. You ask, what is our policy? I will say, it is to wage war by sea, land, and air, with all our might, with all the strength that God can give us, to wage war against a monstrous tyranny never surpassed in the dark and lamentable catalogue of human crime. That is our policy. You ask, what is our aim? I can answer in one word: victory. Victory at all costs. Victory in spite of all terror. Victory however long and hard the road may be. For without victory there is no survival.
Now we are the masters of our fate. That the task which has been set us is not above our strength. That its pangs and toils are not beyond our endurance. As long as we have faith in our cause and an unconquerable willpower, salvation will not be denied us.
I would also like to say a massive thank you to all the subscribers, all the new subscribers. It's very heartening, and it really gives me great encouragement. If you haven't subscribed, and you would, I would dearly appreciate that, because the more subscribers I have, the more the films get shared about, and the more encouragement it gives for people to watch my films, and also then the feedback helps inspire me on to make more interesting films. So I just thank you very much for everybody that's subscribed, and to all the future subscribers, thank you very much. Now, it's interesting to note that the former RAF Bolt Head was a very, very active advanced landing ground from 1941 to 46, and particularly in 1944 there were many aircraft leaving from RAF Bolt Head. Probably more notably were the Osters. It was an Oster Mark IV of 652 Squadron, and they were flying to Normandy direct from RAF Bolt Head. There was also the Piper L4 Grasshoppers that were operating from RAF Bolt Head, and I have one occasion on the 19th of October 1943, Squadron Leader Geddes had been at RAF Exeter and was returning in a Piper Cub from Exeter in quite unpleasant conditions. He took 2 attempts to land back at RAF Bolt Head. It was so windy. He landed on the second occasion, and even with the ground crew, when the ground crew rushed out to help him, they couldn't stop the aircraft being tipped over and flipped over on its back. Fortunately, Squadron Leader Geddes was not injured, and they managed to recover the aircraft. But and also during my film, you will see the exercises at Slapton, the exercise Tiger and so on, and the various Allied troops that were training there, and you'll see a Piper Cub flying along the beach in both directions. Now, they were flying from Paignton, where there was a temporary landing strip, to another temporary landing strip at Slapton Sands. Now, it was on one occasion that a Piper L4 crashed into the harbour at Dartmouth, Devon in April 1944. Now, as you may or may not know, the port of Dartmouth lies on the South Devon coast between Torquay and the US Army training area around Slapton Sands. In April 1944, a light Piper Cub L4 communications aircraft crashed into the River Dart. In advance of this exercise, Staff Sergeant Francis A. Bush of the 153rd Liaison Squadron was required to take a Piper L4 Cub from New Zealand Farm Strip to Y670 at Paignton Green, and this was followed on April the 8th by an administrative mission to the strip Y821 at Slapton Sands, in the course of which Sergeant Bush had a remarkable escape. The weather was poor when he took off from Paignton, with 1 mile visibility and a cloud base of 1,000 feet, and on approach to the River Dart at 14:45 hours conditions worsened. The barrage balloons protecting Dartmouth were hidden in the cloud, so as he neared the town, Bush made a 45-degree turn to avoid the area. As he did so, the Cub hit one of the unseen mooring cables, and with one wing sheared off, went into an uncontrollable spiral and crashed into the waters of Dartmouth Harbour. Miraculously, its pilot survived, only with minor injuries. Sergeant Bush spent the next 11 days in hospital under observation for possible internal injuries. Fortunately, he was assessed fit to resume flying duty. However, the same could not be said for his aircraft 43-607, which was recovered from the water and classified as a complete wreck, with Category M5 damage to its airframe, engine and propeller. Well, I really appreciate you watching along, particularly if you've travelled this far. We've had quite a journey in this film. We started off from the former RAF Bolt Head, flew the south coast of the UK, looking at all the D.Day embarkation points. We've had a good look at the training exercises on Slapton Sands during 1944, early 1944, and I think it's all been quite a worthwhile journey. My thanks, of course, go out to Reg McComish, a great inspiration to all us local flyers. Thank you, Reg, for all you've contributed over the years. Please consider having a subscribe, and thank you for watching along. Take the greatest of care. All the very best. Cheers for now.